Hey, what's up, everybody? So, what we are going to do is we are going to dive into the key. We're going to dive into the key. We're going to talk about rotation and why it is so important. And we're going to talk about your chakras and vortex math. A lot of people have a lot of questions about chakras and vortex math, and this is basically going to kind of eliminate a lot of that stuff. All right, so first and foremost, if you want to find the real secrets in life, apply numbers to sacred shapes. This is what Plato said. And Plato is absolutely brilliant. You can read a lot of books on him. He was also one of the people who went and healed people with his hands. He was actually able to perform certain miracles. Absolutely brilliant, brilliant man. All right. So what we're going to talk about is we're going to talk about vortex math. All right, vortex math, also known as binary math, because it's all about the doubling process. And I like to call it the internet. So you have the outer net, which we'll talk about in a little bit, and you have the internet. The internet is based off of doubling, and that's your reality. That's why the second Hermetic principle talks about polarity. It gets you to understand that everything has poles, everything has its extremes from one side or the other, and that duality, that extreme, allows you to have a real life experience. All right. So binary math, very, very simple. You don't have to know a lot about math. You don't have to go to college or anything like that to understand this. It is very simple. You start with 1. 1 times 2 is 2. 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. 8 times 2 is 16. 16 times 2 is 32. Now, notice, those of you that know 9 vibes, what are we doing? We're reducing it down to its digital root. All right, so 1 plus 6 is going to be 7. 3 plus 2 is going to be 5. 6 plus 4 is going to be 10. And 1 plus 0 is going to be 1. 1 plus 2 plus 8 is going to be 11, which ends up being 2. 1 plus 1 is 2. So if you continue just doubling and never stop, you end up with this pattern. 1, 2, 4, 8, 7, 5. 1, 2, 4, 8, 7, 5. And it goes on forever. If you decide to divide it, you also end up with the exact same thing, right? Half of 1 is going to be 0.5, so you're starting at the 5. Half of 5 is going to be 2.5, which is going to take you to the 7, so on and so forth. So whether you're doing it by dividing or whether you're doing it by doubling, you're going to end up with this pattern. 1, 2, 4, 8, 7, 5. 1, 2, 4, 8, 7, 5. And this is called vortex math. So as you can see here, you've got the 1 to the 2, the 2 to the 4, the 4 to the 8, the 7, the 8 to the 7, the 7 to the 5 to the 1. And it creates this shape right here. Okay, this is also referred to as the vortex math symbol. It is the understanding of this is what it would look like if you were to plot those points. All right, so vortex math. Now we're talking about vortex math and we have these numbers. What are the 3 numbers that are missing from vortex math? And I know that if you know about Tesla, he's the one who actually mentioned them. So as you can see here, 1, 2, 4, 8, 7, 5, and then back up to 1 is going to leave out 3, 6, and 9. All right, so that's what's missing, 3, 6, and 9. And when you plot 3, 6, and 9, you end up with the very first equilateral triangle that is found on this. Okay, so we now have a triangle, we have a circle, we have numbers. What do we need? We need some movement. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about clockwise rotation. And it's very important to talk about clockwise and counterclockwise rotation because there is a lesson in both of these. The origins of clockwise movement can be traced back to at least the origins of the I Ching. All right, where clockwise movement is cumulative, basically, of the passage of time. So it's the understanding that when you go clockwise, you are 1 second off of your life, 1 minute off of your life, 1 hour off of your life. It's constantly building up at that point. All right. When you move clockwise, you are moving with time. That's the understanding of it. All right. Clockwise allows you to view your life. Okay, so this is an important part. Clockwise allows you to observe your life, but it does not mean that you're actually doing anything with it. And so that is the importance of understanding vortex math. You start with 1, 4, 7, and 2, 5, and 8. And what you do is you end up generating a vortex that is going to generate light. Because you cannot observe your life until you first see your life for what it is. And so the first thing that you do is you generate a light. Okay? So 1, 4, 7. So we can see right here, we're just rotating 1, 4, and 7 going clockwise, which is also going to be 1, 4, 7. It's going to be the representation of vibration. You can also apply this to voltage, but we'll talk about that at another time. All right, same thing with 2, 5, and 8. So you could rotate one more time. Now you got 2, 5, and 8. And again, now you have the 2, 5, 8 vibration. Okay, those two together are going to create a star that overlaps. Now that you have created a vortex or two stars rotating, this is where you can actually start observing your life. Okay, so you start with your chakras. You always start with your chakras. So before you are going to start observing your life, you need to figure out where you're going to start. And you start at the root. You start at the very, very base of who you are, which is the root. Okay, this is why Tesla said 3, 6, and 9. He did not say 369, but 3, 6, and 9 are keys. Okay, so when you are starting your chakra journey, you first need to observe your chakra, which means you start with 3, 6, and 9. And I know those of you that know your chakra frequencies are going, wait a minute, that's not my frequency. And you're absolutely correct. That's because we are moving clockwise. Okay, when we move counterclockwise is when we'll get to the frequencies. So first and foremost, you begin with your root, 3, 6, and 9. Then you're going to rotate again. Okay, when you rotate, you end up with 4, 7, 1. So as you can see here, 4, 7, 1. This is going to be the observation of your bonds. So after you work through the root of you, you're going to step into the bonds that you have made. You're going to step into your relationships. You're going to see where in your life you have actually been putting your energy. Okay? Then you're going to rotate it again, and you're going to have 5, 8, 2. This is going to be connected to your body. So what you're doing now is you're looking at this and you're saying, okay, now that I've looked at the root of who I am and I've looked at the relationships and the bonds that I've made, how have I been treating my body? How have I been connected to my body? All right. After that rotation, you're now going to land on your heart. So the next one you're going to look at is going to be your heart, which is going to be 693. Okay, 693. Again, you're just rotating clockwise. All right. Next, you're going to observe your words. Okay. Again, you're not changing anything at this point. You're just observing. In 24 hours, how many words are negative? How many words are positive? How many times do you speak kindness to people? How many times do you speak kindness in your truth? Like, so this allows you to kind of observe your whole day and to see what words you're using, because your words are very powerful for creation. All right. Then you're going to observe your current reality. So what you're going to do is you're going to look at your life, which is going to be 825. You're going to look through your third eye, which is probably most likely not on yet at this point, and you're going to see what your world looks like. You're going to observe your reality. Is it more of a war zone? Is it more of a heaven? Is it more of a hell? Is it a balance of just ups and downs or chaos? It's your reality. But what you're going to do is you're going to observe it. And after you finish observing it, you are finally going to observe any excess imagination. Any excess imagination is going to be observed because of the fact that this is your life and these are your fears. So whenever you have excess imagination, it's because you have been learning too much and you haven't been applying it to your life. This is one of the biggest reasons why religion is so solidified in fear, because there is a lot of learning, a lot of reading, and a lot of context, but there is not a lot of application. So when you have too much knowledge with limited experience, you end up with fear, which is just excess imagination. All right. Now, after we've gotten to this place, we're going to talk about counterclockwise, because now we went clockwise. Let's talk about the importance of counterclockwise. All right. The counterclockwise energy folds, contracts in time, and inserts seeds of healing into the passages of time. So remember, whenever you're moving clockwise, you're moving with time. When you move backwards, you actually create ripples. And because of the fact that you're moving against the resistance, you create ripples. And in those ripples are where you can actually put healing and growth and your process in those gaps. Okay? So we were at 936. And now what we're going to do is we're going to rotate counterclockwise. Okay? Now, 963 minus 936 is going to give you 27. That is very important when you look at vortex math, because 1 plus 2 plus 4 plus 8 plus 7 plus 5 is 27. Okay, so it's showing you that it's rotating and it's working within this vortex, but now we're going the other way. So now what we are doing is we are going 963, and we're starting with our crown chakra. And the reason we start with our crown chakra is because if you don't work on the fear in your life, the fear is going to take over all of your chakras. All right. So you want to be listening to 963 hertz. This is going to send a frequency, a message to your body saying you are working on your fears. You are working on rising above where you are at. All right. Next, you're going to have rotated again. So notice, as you can see here, 8, 5, and 2. You're just going counterclockwise at this point. This is going to be your third eye chakra. So this is going to be frequency 852 hertz. And what this is going to do is it's going to affect what you see in your reality. This is going to expand the awareness that you have and allow you to use your third eye for what it is, which is to look at the right and look at the left and say, I'm not choosing either one of these. I'm going to find the best option from the two. When you learn about science and you learn about religion, you find the best option between the two of them. When you learn about spirituality and you learn about math, you don't cancel out one or the other. You find the best option that is found between the two of them. Next, you're going to rotate again. So as you can see, counterclockwise, 7, 4, and 1. 7, 4, and 1 is going to be the throat chakra. So now again, we're back to the words you speak. So now that you've observed what you say, we're going to look at changing what you say. If you notice that you speak more negative words than you do positive words, this is the chakra that you change it on. Now, you have two options for this one, and this is what I really like. You can listen to 741 hertz, which is then going to send a vibration to your throat chakra. This is really good if you find yourself under speaking. If you don't speak your kindness, if you don't share your truth with kindness, if somebody is kind of holding you down in that area, then it's going to manifest. And once it manifests, that energy is going to manifest into matter, and you're going to have thyroid issues. Okay, so you can listen to this frequency, which is really good for kind of clearing that out, or you can focus on the words that you are speaking and you can speak them with kindness, because whether you listen to this frequency or whether you become this frequency is completely up to you. All right, next you have 639 hertz. So as you can see, or 639, which is going to be your heart chakra. So, right, 639, we're still going counterclockwise. If you listen to this frequency, it's going to connect directly to your heart. It's going to connect to what you radiate out in the world and how you treat people in your life. Okay, then we're going right back to that body. Right, 528. 528 hertz is a fantastic frequency. It directly connects you to your solar plexus chakra. Okay, it also is really good for healing. If you notice that you're not feeling good, 528 hertz generally helps your cells hydrate as well as repair. So 528 hertz is just great for listening, for healing. As we rotate, we're then going to hit our sacral chakra, which is going to go back to those bonds that we were observing, and now you can change them. If you want to let go of bonds, if you want to let go of some of that energy you've been putting in other bonds, whether you want to change them, whether you want to upgrade them, that's completely up to you. But now what you're doing is you are focusing on listening to this frequency to communicate with your body so that it knows that you are working on the bonds. A lot of our issues are found in our childhood bonds. So the more that you work on this, the more you start to let those go. All right. And finally, you're going to end with your root chakra. The root chakra, again, is the root of who you are. And so as you go through this process, when you get to the root of who you are, it becomes a lot easier to repair the damage that is done when you have fixed all the others that came before, when you have aligned all the others that came before. All right. This frequency is going to be 396 hertz. And at the point that you are at your root chakra, you are ready to generate a new star tetrahedron, a new vortex math. Because what you're going to do is you're now going to take the feeling movement, which is 285. So you can see, again, 2, 8, and 5. You're going counterclockwise. You're going to listen to this frequency, and then you are going to also listen to the 174, which is going to be your thought. This is going to be what you send out to the universe. This is going to be what you send out in terms of manifestation. So after you have aligned your chakras, after you have started the 285 vortex, you're going to add in the 174, and together those are going to generate your new vortex math, your new vortex and toroidal flow to the universe. Okay? If you want to understand the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. That's what Tesla said. So when we go back and we look at vortex math, we have here energy 3, 6, and 9, right? 3, 6, and 9. Frequency 1, 7, 4, 8, 5, and 2. Because remember all those ones that I went through. So 1, 7, 4, 8, 5, 2. All vortex math. Vibration, same thing. 1, 4, 7, 8, 2, 5. So the exact same numbers, just of course mirrors of each other. Okay? And that will create this reality. This is what you live in. If you ever hear someone talking about the grid or the field or the numbers or the matrix, this is it. It is created using duality, using the 1, 2, 4 and the 8, 7, 5, and in between the fabric of reality if you're 3, 6, and 9s. Okay? When you live aligned with 3, 6, and 9, you have a lot of chaos in between, but then you have flow. You have chaos, then you have flow. You have chaos, and then you have flow. And that's usually what our lives feel like. Very ebb and flow, up and down, up and down. Okay? So, he also said that if you knew the magnificence of 3, 6, and 9, you would have a key to the universe. Because the way that you want to live your life is actually this grid. You want to live by this alignment. Because as you can see here, there is no chaos. This is aligned, and this is aligned, and this is aligned. 3, 6, and 9. And 3 plus 6 is 9, plus 9 is 18, and 1 plus 8 is 9. So this is how you live aligned. And so in this, you can actually you can start to no longer see the duality of your life and start to see the unity, start to see the oneness that has created your reality. And when you live in this grid, you manifest faster, you receive clearer, and you love more. You have more compassion, more kindness, more awareness than the average person. All right? Now, on top of that, I have created a Faraday cage frequency song. So I'm going to show you exactly what that is in the next video so that you can play this and you can understand how it is going to create a grid in your reality that is going to follow the 3, 6, and 9, the grid that I just showed you, and it is going to keep you healthy, it is going to keep you joyful, and it is going to keep you aware. All right? Get your 9 vibes aligned.